Hey there, my name is Heidi and I recruit product managers. I want to continue the dialogue with you about product manager resumes and helping you reimagine how to create the best possible product, which is what we're calling your resume, for the market, especially in light of how competitive the market is today and how open so many of you are to trying to find the best possible opportunity given the pent-up demand for product talent in all markets across, really around the world. I now want to answer the common question that I'm often asked, which is how long should my resume be? By that I mean how many pages? This is a very common question, so I'm going to answer in a very practical way. First of all, let's talk about the one-page resume. A one-page resume is appropriate for someone with one page worth of employment experience. So this means a fresh university graduate or someone who is within the first 2, maybe 3 employers in their career. Anyone else who is more senior and therefore more accomplished or has had broader scope and scale of responsibility is most likely going to naturally fall into a 2-page resume. 2-page resumes are acceptable, and they are the most common length of resume of an employed professional product manager, whether a leader or an individual contributor. So many people I meet who are extremely accomplished share about agonizing over how to get so much content down to 1 page. This is unnecessary angst because if you have a phenomenal, accomplished career, you want to make sure that you're telling your product story effectively, and for most people, 1 page isn't going to cut it. Next, if a resume is longer than 3 pages, it's most likely because you're including a lot of filler content. We talked about that in the last video. What is filler content? Filler is anything that delays the user persona who's using your product to getting to the things that they care about the most, which is where did this person work and what did they accomplish there? What is their product story? How have they made a difference? So many times a really long resume is because there's just so much filler on the front end that we need more space to actually get to what matters, which is your product story and what you've accomplished in your career. The other reason a resume can stretch out longer than 2 pages, sometimes longer than 3 pages, if we're providing too much detail about the earliest part of our career. So as someone who began their professional career in 1989, there's a whole bunch of stuff I'm no longer going to include on my resume, but I will make mention of it with a heading that previous experience includes, and then just a few bullet points that accounts for that time in my career. But I'm not going to be documenting everything that I achieved and accomplished because that's not even who I am today. So I want you to be thinking about your earlier stage of career. Is that who you are today? Will what you did 20 years ago be the reason someone decides to interview you today? Most likely not, if you're like most people. So we really want to curate. Emphasize the most recent experience and really remove the filler that takes up valuable real estate, often on page 1. So I hope that answers the question how long a resume should be. I will share an addendum thought for all of our friends who are relocating from Europe to North America. There is a big difference in how resumes are created in the European market versus the North American market. And as a European relocating to North America, you want to get dialed in as quickly as possible to how the North American employers want to see your story. It's natural for a European candidate to have a 5, 6, 7, 8-page resume that provides a lot of information that we here in North America don't need to know to evaluate whether you are a great candidate or not. So if you're telling us stories about your family vacation and your partner and your children's lives and what public school you attended and what public school your children attend, we don't need to know that. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, positive or otherwise, I'd love to hear from you. Heidi@ambassador.com, and we will see you in the next video.